All right, we are live. Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. John and Ellie of Georgia Beer Reviews back at you on this Wednesday evening with a special examination of Founders KBS. And joining me tonight, we have Jeremy Vincent from Arkansas. We have Jesse from Bumpy Road Brewery. He's got a cool beer review channel. Go check him out if you haven't already. We've got Michael Kormaroff from Brooklyn. We've got Robert, the Whiskey Scout. Thanks for joining me, Robert. He's got a great channel as well, the Whiskey Scout. We've got a new addition, the Drunken One. Thanks for joining, Drunken One.
Yes, sir, sir. Thank you for having me.
We've got the one, the only Ronald J. Terrio of Louisiana Beer Reviews. Thanks for joining, Ron. Glad you could make it. Great beer review channel as well. If you haven't already checked him out, wake up and get with the program. And we've got Brian from Thrash Metal, Homebrew, and Barbecue, another great channel and an awesome home brewer. So thanks for joining me, everybody. So Founders, established in 1997 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. They also have a brewery in Detroit now as well. And KBS is a stout with chocolate and coffee added, and it's aged in oak bourbon barrels. Now, the 2019 version is 12.2% alcohol and 70 IBUs. This beer gets a perfect 100 out of 100 on Rate Beer. And the availability officially is March through May. However, this year it is in abundance. You can find it everywhere. They made a lot more of it. So I think it'll be available in most areas for probably the good part of the year. So let's see. Drunken One, since you are on my far left, we'll start with you.
Right.
Do you have the 2019 version?
I do. And there was lots of them left at the store there. There was there must have been 8 or 10 more of the 4-packs.
Awesome.
So yeah, it looks like it's going to be around for a while. The price is a little steep, but
did you buy a 4-pack?
I did get a 4-pack, and to be very honest, I've had one yesterday.
All right. Well, we will let you lead off since you are on my far left. Go ahead and get an aroma and taste it and let us know what your initial thoughts on the beer are.
All right. It smells straight up like chocolate. And a little bit of, you can definitely smell that bourbon coming through. When I tried it before, I found it to be not overbearing, but you can definitely taste the alcohol in it. It's got a nice head, like everybody else's. And you can't see through it at all. Got nice glass slicing, or like alcohol legs rather. Well, both. And yeah, just give it a sip.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. Yeah, the holes through. Nose comes through from the chocolate into the flavor. They've got a full body. Really. Taste that bourbon and a bit of the wood from the barrel. Yeah, it's a very good beer. I can see why it gets 100 on the Untapped or whatever.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll let you keep sipping on that for a little while and come back around shortly. So, Jeremy Vincent, you're up next.
All right. Dark. Khaki head. Mine's actually got more. I did an aggressive pour on that, so I don't know if I should have did that, but I did anyway.
You never go wrong with an aggressive pour, man.
No. Let's get nose on it. Before you even get to it, you're smelling the chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Roasted. And then you get the coffee, like a mocha espresso kind of smell. And it smells sweet too. So
all right, there's Shane. Hello. Sorry, Jeremy. Sorry to interrupt. We've got Shane Fudge joining us. He's also from Arkansas. Welcome in, Shane.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Shane, what year did you decide to go with?
I'm gonna pull a J Terrio here. I'm gonna do a little challenge, and I've already got the bottle glass.
Very challenge.
This is a 2015. This is a 2016.
Okay.
Ooh.
I've got
Awesome.
Got a little
Okay.
vertical action.
A KBS Please challenge.
All right. Live.
You're a bad
Oh,
influence,
hang
Jay.
Excellent. So you've got labels on the bottom. You're going to do a blind and see which one you think is better.
I've been saving a lot of these beers for that very reason, because I think it's very interesting. It's very truth telling, and you can't hide from the truth on this blind. You know, your palate will tell you whether your brain says it's one thing or not. Your palate might tell you something different, and it's hard to do. And I'm
Right.
going to make an ass of myself, but anyway, I thought it'd be interesting since y'all are doing this KBS. I have a 19. I've got an 18. I've got one 2014, but I'm gonna save it for a while just to see what it does for years after years. But anyway,
Awesome.
you guys are on board, and
Yeah, well,
we'll go ahead and
We will get
pour
to
mine
you
too.
shortly. We were just going to Jeremy Vincent, and he was getting an aroma and about to get into it. So cheers, Jeremy.
All right. Cheers. Very smooth. It's a lot of chocolate right off the bat. A lot of chocolate. Molasses type tasting. You can definitely taste the bourbon in it, but not overly as strong as some of the other ones that I've had. Not like the Evil Twin, even more Jesus. Nowhere near that. So it's not quite as boozy as I would have thought. You know, being 12.2%, right?
Right.
And it's pretty full bodied, and it's got like a vanilla, hints of vanilla in there also. Really good beer, man. Really good. Cheers.
All right. Cheers. We'll come back to you shortly. In the meantime, we'll go to Bumpy over there. What are you? You're in New Hampshire, right?
I am in New Hampshire.
All right.
So to be perfectly honest with you guys, I've had KBS a couple times. Never really cared for it past years.
Hey, well, got
So-
all like you see it.
Let's go ahead and I've been smelling this. First off, the aroma is amazing on this one. I'm not a big coffee, I like sweet coffee. I'm not a big bitter coffee fan. I'm not really picking up on coffee in this. First thing I'm noticing is barrel. And it's not even coming off like real bourbon. It's more you get the wood smell followed up by a nice creamy chocolate smell.
Nice.
A little bit of roastiness, but still not going towards that coffee note. I have yet to taste this. I'm going to go ahead and put this in my mouth right now.
Cheers.
Go ahead.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and smooth. Creamy mouthfeel. Oh, it's like you ever eaten like the hollowed out Easter bunny chocolates?
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. You do get some of that woody barrel age, little tiny tad bit of an alcohol note coming up. Slight bit of a darker malt roastiness, but it's still to me this is not coming off like coffee at all. It's more of that like wood barrel aged chocolate, nice and smooth. I'm really impressed with this one.
All right. Well, we will let you keep sipping on it and come back around here shortly. By the way, I like the craft beer pour shirt. Nice.
Yes, that is sweet.
All right. So that, real quick, we've got Alex the Beer Master in the chat. We've got Ronnie S. says, cheers, beer lovers. Miss Diamond says, cheers. Cheers to you, Miss Diamond. So thanks, everybody in the chat for watching. And all right. So Michael Kormeroff, you're up, buddy.
Okay. Everybody's gotten the look, kind of a beige head, and I did kind of a lot of lacing. It's holding up really well. Let me get a nose on it. I'm getting more of the chocolate, and I'm not getting any of the coffee either. You're getting a little bit of the barrel aged kind of smell. Very, very nice nose. Let me give it a sip. The taste follows the nose, getting that same oaky, woody kind of feel that's been mentioned. Very smooth. And it's deceptive because you don't taste the 12.2. So this would be a beer you'd have to be careful with. It is full bodied, but it does go down easy. Pretty nice. I'll mull over it. Very good.
All right. So Robert, the Whiskey Scout, you're up.
First thing I notice is chocolate Ovaltine.
Interesting.
That's
Wow.
a good, yeah.
I mean, that's,
Ovaltine, all right.
Yeah.
that's the first thing I really noticed. I noticed that, then it's backed up by a little of the coffee note, and I go with bumpy on the wood. There is a definite wood note, and it brings sort of a vanilla to it. And this is all on the nose. I had one last night just to kind of prep my palate for today. Those are the main. It's what I'm getting up front on the nose.
Yeah.
I get a lot of vanilla on mine.
Mine is
A whole lot of vanilla. It's still bringing the chocolate, but the coffee's really. The coffee's not a very strong coffee. It's there, it's present, but it's not dominating like I get in a lot of the coffee stouts. I still get the bourbon more on the palate than I do on the nose, but and there's still that chocolate Ovaltine, that sort of real chocolatey note that comes through. Not too bitter. It's not too bitter at all. Not to me. I like it.
Right. You'd never guess that it was 70 IBUs, right? I mean, that's getting up there.
No, would not guess that. Not at all.
no.
All right. We'll let you keep sipping on that and come back around here shortly. Miss Diamond is sipping on a glass of whiskey. Well, cheers, Miss Diamond. I hope it's as good as what KBS is. And all right. So, Ron Ontario, you are up.
Well, it's similar to what you other people are saying. You get the roasted malts, a lot of that, and I'm getting coffee like a medium roast natural house type situation. Getting chocolate, a lot of malt, like
Yeah.
man, if you got they don't even make such an item, but like a deep roasted Burger King chocolate shake, but they don't make such a thing. But it's like a velvety mouthfeel. You get some barrel, the white oak charred barrel. It's a velvety mouthfeel. It's a sweet finish, more or less. It's rich. It's I hear a lot of background noise, John and Neely. It's
Yeah, I hear a little echo.
Let me, I'll mute me just in case.
It's a 90. Whoop! I almost scored it. It's very good, and I got it for $4.12 a bottle in my 4-pack. I was very delighted to get that deal, which is a tremendous amount cheaper than what most people pay.
It's a feel.
How'd you do that?
I just went into a store and I looked, and they had it for $4.12 a bottle.
Jay,
Wow.
is it marked down because it's not selling?
Probably.
That'll be
What's your date?
How much are
I
people
think that's
paying?
$5.99, $6.50 a bottle, But
'Cause I bought my 4-pack for $19.99.
yeah, I paid $16.49 for mine.
What's the date on your bottle, Ron?
March 6th. A lot more coffee is coming in the undertaste. Chocolate, of course. I don't know what chocolate they're using. It's I don't know if it's a dark chocolate. I don't know. I can't pin down what it is. This thing is nice, and it's very high a high score, you know. But I mean, I couldn't drink too many in a year, maybe.
Right.
A 4-pack per year would be fine. I'm gonna drink 5 this year, but 4 would be perfect. 5 would be a little much.
He's going for the liters.
Huh?
Dessert beers.
Yeah,
Well,
going for the liter jugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I found a 42-ounce plastic bottle of KBS, I wouldn't buy it. I mean, unless it was like $3.29, you know. But I mean, I wouldn't. It would be too much. It's just like it's good, it's rich, it's enjoyable, but there are considerations with it, and I think people maybe. And now, as a counterpoint, and I'm going to shut up. I find it so comical to see these people writing written reviews and making comments on Facebook saying, I've been drinking this stuff for years. It's garbage now. It's a joke. I laugh at it. I would dump it out if somebody gave it to me. I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. Good thing you got a handle on perspective there.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So, you know, you have to have some kind of like intelligent quotient coming into play with this. But anyway, all right.
All right. We will come back to you shortly. Shane, actually, I think if you're okay, well, I'm going to save you for last since you've kind of got a special thing going on there with your two different years. So we will go to Brian, Thrash Metal, with
Cheers,
his
guys.
2019 KBS.
Cheers.
Cheers. You know, just to let you guys know, KBS is the first time I've had a 4-pack probably a month ago, and I bought another 4-pack like a week ago, and I went through the first 3 pretty quick and saved this 4th one for this review. And I have to say that this is the best bourbon barrel beer I've had, where the reason is, in my opinion, a lot of them are like really overwhelming with the bourbon. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
where it's just
right.
too much, you know, and it kind of knocks your palate out of whack when you're trying to enjoy the coffee notes, the roasted notes, and all that. But on the KBS, this one was what I think I said February 19th or something like that. On the basic notes, it's complex. It's so complex, and like all of you said, the maltiness, the sweetness, it's got a really good biscuit factor to it. And it's like you guys said too, it's got a really light background of coffee where you get this like baker's bitter chocolate that's in there, and you get that upfront barrel taste. And after you guys were talking about tasting the wood in it, I do see that. I didn't see it at the beginning. Yeah. So the vanilla, I do taste the vanilla in it too, and the intensity is pretty assertive. It's balanced, I think, with the coffee, the roast, the bourbon that's in it. You know, the barrel aged bourbon portion of it, and it's not harsh where a lot of these other beers are. And when you're drinking the beer, it finishes pretty dry. It's really warming, and it lingers all over the tongue. And I absolutely love that, where you got that bitterness on the back end of the tongue. And it shows legs pretty good. And as you agitate it, it does keep its head a bit. So you know there's some carbonation in there, even though you can't see it. But the body of this thing is full.
Yeah.
It's viscous. It's robust and balanced. The carbonation level is round, creamy. It lingers there for a while when you first pour it. You can tell that there's a lot of malt factor in there that's holding this up, with the oats that they've added to it and everything else that causes that really good mouthfeel to the beer itself. So very high rated beer. I love it. What was that?
What's all that noise?
We're getting a lot of background noise. I don't know who it's coming from, but anyway.
I know it sounds like when Superman was trying to stop the 2 missiles at the same time. You said that it's pretty dry, but I thought it was kind of a sweet finish. But you know, I've been known to eat canned tamales, so I can't really
Well, I think when I say it's dry, when it finishes, and like 15 seconds after you drank it, it's dry on the front of the tongue, and you get that slather of the creaminess and the bitterness back on the back tongue. You know what I mean? The back of the throat.
I'll back Brian on that too. On the back of my tongue, after drinking this, I do have a fuzzy feeling. So it kind of does have a weird dryiness to it, even though it is creamy when you're drinking it. It does kind of seem to dry out afterwards.
Right. And I mean, 12.2% alcohol, you can expect it to kind of be dry and going down because, hard liquor is going to be drying, much like this. It's bourbon barrel aged. You can expect a little bit of dryness. But like you guys said, that nice creaminess is it's kind of deceiving because it's not really dry as you're sipping it. But once you get through with it, at least in my opinion, you kind of get some of that dryness.
Right. And like the chocolate portion of it, it's kind of like, when you let real dark chocolate ice cream melt a bit and warm up a little bit and you drink it with a spoon. It's that viscous, that creaminess, that kind of milkiness that sustains on the tongue, I think.
Right.
I agree. It's creamy.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think at 12.2, like John and Ilya was saying, there's going to be a lot of fuzziness coming into play.
It's making fun of you now, Bumpy.
Right.
Oh, no, I'm not making fun of him. I'm saying that
I know.
it's going to be.
Robert, just real quick, I think the echo is coming from you because it kind of reverbed and I saw your face pop up. So just, if you wouldn't mind muting yourself just until, just for a minute.
Who?
Okay. I think that's where that was coming from. All right. Really quickly, I'll give my description and then we'll go to the main event of the evening with Shane Fudge over there. With his,
I love that idea.
That's going to be awesome. So anyway, I agree with everything that you guys said. I really like how the coffee, it's present on the aroma and on the palate, but it's well balanced with the other flavors. A lot of coffee stouts that I've had, the coffee just overrides everything else, and the beer's out of balance, and that's pretty much all you taste. It basically tastes like you're drinking alcoholic coffee. But this one is very nicely balanced. You're getting the bourbon notes, vanilla, oak on the aroma, along with the coffee and some nice dark chocolate notes. And the flavor, it follows through very nicely. The bourbon notes are coming through a little bit more even on the palate. And I had mine out for a good 15 minutes before we started, so it's actually warmed up a good bit. And the dark chocolate is coming through a little bit more than it was at first when it was cold. And it is slightly warming going down. So you're drinking a high alcohol beer, but it is very smooth, easy drinking. It's got that creamy mouthfeel, so it's very easy to swallow down. It does have a dry finish to me just because of the high alcohol, I think, is kind of drying it out pretty quickly. And the bitterness, 70 IBUs, it's really not a bitter beer at all. You might expect a little bit more bitterness at 70 IBUs, but I'm really not getting any. So this is right up my alley because I love my malt-forward bourbon barrel-aged stout. So I really love this beer. And one other thing, the body is pretty heavy, so obviously you couldn't drink a lot of this if the alcohol, of course, but the body is pretty heavy as well. And the carbonation is more on the medium side, which is nice. I think it complements this style of beer pretty well because it is so thick, and that nice little bit of carbonation that you get kind of lightens it up a little bit. So really quick to the chat, we've got Beer Chubbs is watching. He's got a great channel. Thanks for watching, Mike. We've got Victor Wang in the chat. We've got Trish from One Sip at a Time in the chat. Flacco's Beer Reviews is tuning in, says cheers. Drewski Brewski is watching as well, says cheers, gentlemen. Enjoy your brews. And all right, so thank you everybody so much for tuning in. And now to the main event, we've got Shane Fudge. So remind us real quick which years you have, the ABV, and then go ahead and get into it.
All right. First, I got a 2015. KBS is 70 IBUs on the label. This was one of the last years, I believe, that they put the IBUs and the ABV on the label here at the top. It's 11.2% ABV, and it was bottled on March the 4th of 2015. Okay, when I popped it a while ago, of course, I knew which one it was when I opened them, but I've done the shifting around while y'all been talking. I have no idea which one's which. They're both basically the same color. You'll see them here in a second, but the 2016 is, see, it disappeared. No numbers on the upper label there. It's on the back for the date here, and it's in white. And I hate that. Use some dadgum colors that you can see. No, Greg Puckett. This is a February 12th of 2016, and it's a 12.4%. It does not give the IBUs on this, so I'm wondering if maybe 16 was the first year that they used this back label here. I don't know if y'all can see that. I can't get it to focus. I'm on a cell phone, so. But anyway, you can see 15 has no label on the back, but the date right there on the bottle. You can read that. A yellow on a dark, you can read it, but you can't see this white hardly. I mean, my vision's pretty poor anyway. But there we go with those information on them. I've already poured both of them, like I said, and I've shifted them around. They're both in Stella Artois chalices. I love to use these sort of glasses to drink a lot of beers out of, besides that other glass that y'all seen me use from time to time. I've got taped on the bottom what year each one is too, so you can see. I'll show you both of them at the same time yourself. There, it's not in the color here at all. I can't tell any difference at all. Now, I don't know what you all see on that end, but
see black.
Go ahead and just pick one up and see black. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to go listen.
Reflection from my phone in the black, so back in black. Yeah, that's right. All right, so it's a nose now. When I poured them, when I cracked them 15, it had a little less hiss from carbonation. And that's to be expected. It's 1 year older. The 16 definitely poured a little bit more vibrant. The head generated pretty quick and kept a good finger ahead right initially on the pour. The 15, it never got. It was maybe a half a head. You can tell the difference in that. But now that they've settled down and I've shifted around, I can't tell which one's which. The head's about the same now. They're both the same color that you guys are getting on your KBSs. I don't expect a lot of that to have changed over the years, but I definitely expect some differences in the flavor and aroma. It's just bursting off here. I smell chocolate. As soon as I popped them, but just like chocolate was in the room. And it's wafting. And I get the bourbon. I get a little of that barrel. I get some dark fruits. But let's go ahead and let's see what this one smells like up close. Okay, initially I get a dark fruit right at the first scent, and I get the bourbon. It's probably from the bourbon because I get that often from bourbon. I don't know what it is about some of the dark fruit and raisins and plums. And once in a while I get that scent in a lot of bourbons. I don't know, it's just my nose. I don't know if you guys get that ever.
Yeah, even prunes.
Get some oak in there too. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's it. That's more like it, prunes.
You won't have trouble going to the restaurant tomorrow.
A lot of chocolate.
Yeah, raisin. Real
I might
dark
have trouble
raisin.
going here after these two though. Yeah, dark raisin. I get chocolate. I don't get much coffee at all, and I don't expect that would hang. It's like a hop. The coffee's going to fade over time. So, yeah. Oh man, that smells really good. It's a little bit of alcohol burn in the smell. You still get that. That's probably just the bourbon. It's probably going to be a lot smoother than what it smells like in the taste. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and smell this other one. You see this? Yeah, the chocolate is a little bit more pronounced in this one. More like a Yoo-hoo kind of way Yoo-hoo smells.
Yeah. Well, I think
the dark fruit is not near as prominent.
I think I got it.
You think you know which one it is?
Yeah.
So we've had Ovaltine and Yoo-hoo tonight.
Yeah.
The chocolate is definitely different smelling. The bourbon's not as hefty in this one as it is in the other one there.
Yeah, I know which one it is.
I think I probably do know too, just off the scent, but I've thought I've known other beers when I've done this sort of thing at my house, and it's an eye opener. Yeah, this one just smells. I mean, I think maybe this one is the 15. That's what I mean, just off scent, because the bourbon maybe is a little more, because it's tamed down some. It don't smell as hot and alcoholic.
When you're a big time beer reviewer, you always got to say that alcoholic.
Alcoholic, yeah. I think I heard you say that several
I
times.
say that a lot on my channel because it gives me street cred.
And it feels good to say.
Yeah. All right. So
A lot.
we're gonna give. I'll go back to the first one that smelled here, and give it a little taste. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to you. And
Oh yeah, the roast. I definitely get more now that I've gone back to this one on the scent. I get more of the coffee in this one. Even more reason to think this maybe is a 16.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll give it a shot.
Now that one you're drinking now, you said that was the Yoo-Hoo, right?
No, that was this one here. The Yoo-Hoo was the second one. The one I think is a 15. The 16, I'm getting more coffee.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah.
I've heard the 2015 had more chocolate flavors to it.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely notice a difference in the two. It's very, very similar. It's just like, a few little notes that make them different. And the aging, I think, is going to affect this too. Definitely with carbonation, and definitely with the coffee fading, maybe.
But there is a difference in though, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So far, now I haven't tried tasting this one yet. Still trying to get some more notes off. The mouth feels really creamy. The burn is not bad at all. If you're not used to this sort of beer, you're definitely going to get your palate blown out. But it's smooth. You can definitely tell it's had a little age on the ABV. Burn is dissipated on this one. You can chug this. All right. I'm not, especially with two in my hand right now.
Yeah. Cheers.
The bad thing is, my wife, I just heard her crack a beer in the other room, and it's not one like this. She don't drink the bourbon barrel aged beer, so these are my first two beers of the day. I'd say, my first 6 beers of the day.
What a good start, though.
Yeah. Right.
All right, so here goes the second one.
Cheers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's more creamy. The Yoo-Hoo's coming out a lot more in this one now. And I drew these out of my boxes behind me about 30 minutes, about 6:05, and put them in the deep freezer just to get some sort of chill on them. So they're chilled. You can see they're sweating. So they got a little chill on them.
I like them warm. I like drinking this very, very warm.
Oh yeah, opens up, becomes more complex as it does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Yoo-Hoo is in this. See, you don't get the Yoo-Hoo smell in this one really at all. I'm getting this more. It's almost like it's got lactose in it, but I know it doesn't.
Shane.
Yes.
I'm gonna call it, but don't put any emphasis on that. Yeah. I think that the Yoo-Hoo is the 2015.
Yeah, I do too. We're gonna taste this one now that smells like Yoo-Hoo.
Cheers.
Talking about chugging it, I chugged most of that 40-ounce bottle of Hurricane, and then I made comments, and later I thought, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Oh,
here's warm. Yeah, 75.
So Shane, what's the taste difference between the second one and the first one?
This one's definitely more tame. The ABV is less on this one. It's a little more creamy because it's got that more of a Yoo-Hoo. Maybe it's the chocolate that's giving that kind of thick feel. I'm getting coffee out of both of the tastes. I don't get much coffee on the scent. But
is one more bitter than the other?
I think this one's maybe.
Shane, don't you find that the flavors, the differences would be more like not profound, like
no, not at all. No, not at all. If someone put this down in front of someone that's never had KBS, they'd think they were drinking the same beer. They really would. But people have drank this several times. You'll notice a little.
Right. It takes an experienced palate, somebody who's had multiple years of the KBS to really be able to differentiate between between them.
Even then, it'd be a hell of a job to try to tell.
It really is. And
Maybe like
fall on
a
my face on this.
perception in like alcohol, because like the older it is, maybe some of the booziness from the barrel will fall off a little bit. So
Yeah,
the older
definitely
one
is.
might seem less, but
Yes. Now the 15, it is a little less ABV. It's 11.2.
oh
16 is a
well,
12
that's a real
12.4.
noticeable difference then, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, but after both of them have aged 3 or 4 years, one year longer, it's definitely going to be tamed down a little bit more than the newer.
Exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're
Do
both
they
awesome.
maintain the
They're both great.
IBUs through the years, or does the IBUs change? Do you guys know?
I
think
think
it's-
the years
I
that
don't
we're
know.
talking about are all 70s, but maybe the earlier ones, like the one Shane has in 2014, might be different.
I
Yeah.
think they were all 70s since they started making the KBS. The only difference from what I've read, and it's not, I mean, you look at a bunch of different websites, they're not really too specific, but the only difference is the aging process, the barrels that they're aged in. I think when they first started, making the KBS, I don't think they were necessarily cave aged. So now they're not just bourbon barrel aged, they're bourbon barrel aged, but they're in, these caves or whatever. So
Yeah.
there's a little bit.
They weren't cave aged. They were cavern aged.
Cavern aged. So the environment in which they were aged and the barrels in which they're aged in differ every year, but the basic recipe is, the
Same.
malt, the hops and all that, they stay the same every year.
Right. Yeah, I'm just joking about that. Stalactites and stalagmites, I'm just kidding.
So the alcohol percentage for the base beer should be the same, and then it's based off of.
It will differ based on the bourbon barrels that they're aged in. Different whiskey.
But the base,
Yeah,
the
but
base,
why would
the base
I can't
stout they
understand
put
why
in.
a barrel would make the alcohol go up or down. Why would a barrel make a difference?
Because
I think my thinking on this is because barrels have crevices and stuff where bacteria will hide, and then they breathe. They open up for like different temperatures. So they're going to open and close because they're going to.
Well, they might change the malt a bit too, because when you're dealing with barrels, and it depends on if they're doing multiple beers in these barrels, because if there's a little liquor left in the barrel, sure, it's going to make a difference, but it's not going to make that much of a difference. You know what I mean?
right. Well,
I think it's more of a profile of.
They could age it in an 80 proof bourbon one year. They could have aged it in a 90 proof bourbon another year.
But that's why I think like maybe a bacteria that's within the barrels that they use might make a difference, because the bacteria will actually eat through more
some good research to look up. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Right. All right. So Shane, we'll let you keep sipping on those two, and when we come back around, you can attempt to identify which one is which, see if you're right, and then give each one a rating and let us know which one you prefer. All right. And Ron's got his finger up, so I think he's got something to say. Yes, sir.
This will be very brief. Talking about bourbon, I thought, in the spirit of frivolity and camaraderie and what Shane's doing, I have this bottle here. You may have heard of it. It's got a horsey on it. It's called Lantern. I've heard people talking about it. So I thought, in the spirit of the event, I would put a little bit in the. Should I?
Oh, wow.
Oh, you're cheating.
You gotta say this one. You gotta go cuvee.
Cuvee. As if that beer's not already amped up enough, Ron's taking it to a whole nother level right now with some world-class bourbon. In my opinion, it was good when I had it.
Anila, kick me out before I come back around. Kick me out for the sake of your channel, because I just took a nose on it, and you don't want to. All right.
Ron's taking a nosedive.
Here we go.
Jay, do you want to give us a number on the original thing before you?
Well, we're
keep drinking?
going back around now, Michael. Everybody's going to give their ratings real quick here. So
Okay.
we're going to start back with the drunken one.
All right, all right. As for the 70 IBUs, I think it's hidden by such dark malts, and that's probably why you don't notice the IBUs and why it doesn't really have a bitter flavor. I think it's a great beer. I don't want to give it 100 because I might find something else out there that is indeed better than this. But so I guess with that being said, I'll go 98.
All right. Very nice.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, Jeremy, what are you thinking?
It's warming up. It's even getting better. Like Jesse had his at 75, wasn't it? What'd you have yours at?
Yeah, measuring temperature.
Yeah, mine's at 75.
I agree with Brian on that. It's actually better when it's warmer.
Oh yeah.
It's one of these ones that are. It's just way better. As it's warming up, it's a world-class beer. What can I say? Everybody knows it. A lot of dark malt, a lot of chocolate. More chocolate than the coffee on this one to me. I like a little bit of vanilla, like Brian was saying also. I'm gonna have to give this a 99, man. It's world class.
Very nice. Yep. Can't argue with that logic. It's definitely great stuff for sure. So, all right.
I wonder what Ron's got in his though. I need some of that.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like it might be a little too strong now that he put the blend.
Well,
I think he's regretting that decision. But now he's going to have to drink it. You can't pour out
Right.
a great bourbon mixed with a world-class beer. I mean, you can't do it. It would be an atrocity. Ron's just going to have to suck it up.
Don't let me see abuse.
no, I never said I was going to pour it out. I said it might come back. I'm thinking that it might come back up.
Oh no,
As long as it goes down once, you're good.
that's
You can handle it.
All right, John and Neely, go through the scores. I'm gonna give you my score, and then I'm gonna give you my assessment with the adulterated version.
All right. So, Bumpy, go ahead with your final thoughts and rating on the KBS there.
So as you guys can see, I have a red pen, and it does say team trivia.
Right.
I'm gonna go through my Bumpy 50-point inspection, but first I want to just say, as you drink this and as you listen to other folks and you kind of like search for stuff that they're saying, I have to disagree about some of the bitterness that people are saying. I'm actually picking up on quite a bit of bitterness in this.
Oh no.
And a lot of that I think is coming off from the coffee that's actually coming up, like a black coffee note, which I didn't really initially pick up on coffee, but I have to agree that there is a coffee note at the tail end, although to me it's not like a coffee that's been like brewed. To me it's coming off like coffee beans that are not yet processed, because coffee is basically the beans grow off of like a little fruit, and they actually have like a fruity note to them, and I'm getting a fruity bitterness, like a dark fruity bitterness, which was mentioned, some dark fruit notes and stuff like that. So I do agree with there's a dark fruit within this, and I think it comes off like a coffee dark fruit bitterness. So now I'm going to go through my 50-point inspection. Appearance, 1 out of 6, full 6. Beautiful appearance. Aroma, 1 out of 10, full 10. The aroma was great. The flavor, 1 out of 19. I gave this a 16 out of 19. And I can break this down. The malt, I gave it a 4 out of 4. The hops, I gave it a 4 out of 3. And the reason for that is because of the extra bitterness. I think that I would prefer a little more sweetness versus the bitterness that's actually coming up for me. And I don't know if that's all derived from the hops or not. Like I said, it might be coming from that, the malt, the darker malts that are used, because that can also give you some bitterness perception. And then the balance, because of the malt and hops, I give it a 4 out of 5. Carbonation, 3 out of 3. I thought it was great. Nice, smooth, good. Aftertaste, because of the same reasons before, I give it a 2 out of 3. Body, I gave it the full 5, 1 out of 5. I gave it the full 5. In drinkability, it got the full 10. So my total score on this is and this is out of a 50-point rating, a 47 out of 50, which puts us into a high range, excellent beer, but not a 100.
All right, so yeah, pretty close. So would you say that it's world class?
Yeah, this is the since I started doing this whole thing, because I went through and I decided I'm going to try to do like the BJCP 50 thing. This is the highest rating I've ever given a beer.
Wow. Okay.
So Jesse, does that go to be a 98 or a 99? Where would you put the final number on?
My personal preference, I'd have to give this probably like a 96 out of 100.
Okay.
If we're going to do it that way.
Okay.
Because just that the bitterness for me is just thrown off. I kind of like sweet things.
Yeah, I'm here.
I love. I mean, I really, and this is that weird thing. It's like I really love IPAs, but I really, really love New England IPAs, which are an IPA that are not that bitter. They have more of that juicy fruit. Sweet.
My new favorite
I'm
type
kind
of
of
IPA is
that.
New England style. That's
Yeah,
I
I'm kind of that sweet guy. I'm that sweet guy. I like malt. I like malt to be mixed in there. I can't drink something that's just straight up just hop bitterness. I need
And
some
this is
malt
all
back in.
opinion too. This is
Oh, yeah.
And it's all opinion. It's all opinion. Exactly.
You good fellas. Now I got to turn my back on you.
all righty. So a world-class rating from a world-class beer reviewer, Bumpy Road over there. Check him out. All right.
Very good.
So Michael Kormaroff.
Okay, I'm
What are
gonna
you thinking?
I'm gonna give it a 98. And the only 99s I've ever given were to the Bourbon County. So I think it was just a straight Bourbon County stout. A couple of different years got 99, but this I'm going to give a 98. And I do get the coffee bitterness on the finish. I don't know if that's where my points come off from. I'm just going to say it loses a point. I don't give hundreds, so it loses a point, and that's it. 98.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Ron's little comment in the side chat there. Okay, so oh, Ron, you threw me off, man. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. It was going so well.
Yeah, I don't feel bad if I give it a 98, because I just didn't
No,
remember.
I'm laughing at Ron's comment about if he had to drink a New England IPA every day for the rest of his life. You put a gun to his head. Anyway.
As long as it wasn't me that screwed things up.
All right, so we will go back to Robert, the Whiskey Scout. His final thoughts and rating on the 2019 KBS.
All right. Who owns Founders? Is it its own brewery, or does Sazerac own it?
Oh, wow. Now that you mentioned it, it's Asahi of Japan.
You just opened up Pandora's box, Robert.
Okay.
Get ready.
The reason I ask is I went through a lot of my bourbons, just kind of giving a next, smelling it, trying to put it a flavor profile with what I'm getting off of that. And the closest one I can come to, of what I have anyway, immediately available, is the Wellers. Now the Wellers, they come closest, and they're both a wheated bourbon. So I'm wondering if their barrels ain't coming from Buffalo Trace.
I think it's Heaven Hill. I think it's Heaven Hill.
Think it's where?
Heaven Hill. Yeah.
Because the only Heaven Hill I had that smelled even close was the Ezra Brooks, that 7.
Yeah, I'm all confused too. I'm just like you. It seems like it's Sazerac, Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, Buffalo Trace is Sazerac, I think.
Or Blanton, 1792.
But anyway, those were the closest. Like, score. You guys are putting me on the. This is a tough one for me. I will go 97 out of 100 because I don't have. It'll make it the highest rated beer I've had, but my My experience ain't what you guys' experience.
What'd you
is
love?
yet.
What'd you love about it?
What did I love about it? The Ovaltine. No, I like the background bourbon and oak with it. It's really, it all works hand in hand. It does have that creamy. The longer, I don't really get it drying, but now I drink a lot of whiskey, and so what I sense as a drying note on the back of my tongue, maybe not what you guys get.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot different.
Yours is like Everclear when you open your mouth and it evaporates.
But this is a very creamy mouthfeel. It's very good. It goes down really well. It's really a very drinkable beer, but it's not something I'd want to sit and drink 2 or 3 a night. One is fine. And it works really well with just one. I think more than one, I think I would probably. I don't know. And it does get
drinking
better.
2 or 3 of these is like drinking like half of a 12-pack of Still Reserve or something.
Yeah. But it does get better as it warms up. I have to agree with you guys 100%. This went from cold, chilled to warm now, and it's just as good, if not better now. I think.
Yeah. All right.
So anyway,
awesome.
That's my 2 cents.
So Robert, I mean, you sound like an expert beer reviewer to me. I don't care what you say. That's spot on. So we're going to go back to Mr. Louisiana Beer Reviews himself, who's making plenty of side chat here, which I'm enjoying. All right, so I want to have a rating on the Founders KBS 2019 version, and you've had multiple years. Shane has, I have as well. We'll go back around at the end. I'm curious to see if everybody thinks that it's worth picking up every year. But you guys can start to kind of go into that now as you're giving your final thoughts and ratings if you want to. But that's something I'm interested in as well. Is it worth picking up every year? It's not cheap. So anyway, all right, back to you, Ron.
Well, I think I'm going to go. I decided this early on in the video, but of course I almost said it. You caught that early. I think I'm going to say 98. Almost let the cat out the bag early on. 98 out of 100. It's 2%. Got all kind of problems. But 98% of it is perfected.
Well, I'm glad you didn't give it away earlier. I would have really hated to have to eject you from the call. So.
Well, now that you've added extra bourbon to it, did that cover that 2% problem?
Give him 10 minutes.
No, actually, I was lean into that. That was sort of like a preparatory thing. No, yeah, I think 98 out of 100 was fair. But like I said in the side chat, January, April, August, and December for this stout would be enough for me, if not too much, actually. And this is going to sound controversial, and you'll say, no, it's the alcohol talking. No, it isn't really. The alcohol exemplifies the things I say, but it gives me courage to say them. But if I had to drink this every day, or if I could drink Budweiser every day, I'm talking about a regular, ritualized drinking regimen, I would drink the Budweiser on a day-to-day basis. I could not drink something like this every day.
This is just, it's too much for an everyday beer.
I can't handle it. I'm weak, and I'll be the first to admit it. Now,
well, you have to admit it's a niche beer. It's not something you want to drink every day.
Right.
It's a multinational. It's a multinational craft style, mass-produced niche beer, and I agree with that.
It's eggnog for the season. I mean, it's one of those things you don't want to drink all the time.
Right.
Eggnog for the beer lover.
We're doing this video after the hype has passed. 5 years ago, this would have hit the shelves and would have been sold out within the hour. Now it hits the shelves, and the store manager's getting stressed out because he put a lot of money into it and he can't get rid of it. So the party's over. We're doing post-party. This is like the downside of the thing. You know, we're on the downslope. This is the downslope of Founders KBS. This is not my problem. I buy it. I'm a consumer. I'm not invested in it.
Right.
I love it. It's a 98 out of 100. If the stores can't get rid of it, it's really immaterial to me. If I can get it for $4.12 a bottle, that's even better for me. In 10 years, it probably won't be produced.
Well, that should be a point there too, is price for you.
Well,
right.
that's the other thing. I'm surprised at the price drop because you can age this. And that's what I noticed on my shelf, because I picked up a year-old KBS a couple years ago, and it was the same price as the new one on the shelf.
Yeah, and I did a rant and rave on one of my hangouts, and I said, you know, to be honest, I have drunk this 2014, 2015, all the vintages up to today. I love them all. But to tell you the truth, I didn't find that the flavors were particularly that different year to year. And it's like, okay, I've watched the movie. I don't necessarily need to watch the movie again, although I love the movie. And for $6 a bottle, you know, you could do a lot for $6 a bottle. But when I saw it for $4.12, I said, I'll do it. If I wouldn't have seen it for $4.12, I wouldn't be here tonight.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think they dropped it just for you, so you could be here tonight.
I made a few calls.
And praise God.
I really want to do this with you, so
John used his influence to cut the price so you could be.
No. You're just using jocular humor. That's jocular humor. Rouse's couldn't get rid of. They probably got a warehouse full of it, and they're panicking. They're like, "What are we going to do?" So I saw it and I bought it. But I mean, I'm serious. If I would have seen it for $5.99 a bottle, I wouldn't have bought it. No, I would have watched the video. I would have made a comment like, "Yeah, you know." But now, does the Blantons help it?
Is it a 99 now?
Huh? What?
99?
I couldn't hear you. What?
Is it a 99?
He's asking if the bourbon infusion raises it a point in your rating.
Yeah, I was about to address that. It did give it a more of a woody aroma, you know, the white oak. But honestly, I don't think it. And this is $56 a bottle for this blend.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah, I never noticed that. I never actually bought it. Someone gave me that bottle. But
thank God.
I bought a bottle 4 years ago. I paid $100 for it for the single barrel.
Now we're getting into freaking
I
bourbon.
think it was a special. I don't know. That was just getting into whiskey, and I was. It was worth it, in my opinion. The bottle lasted for a few months, and it was. I thought it's one of the best bourbons I've ever had. That and the Stag Junior. So anyway,
I've seen Johnny Walkers that have their own briefcase.
Right.
No, I don't think. Honestly, I don't think it really makes it better, and I can make a lot of enemies saying that, but it's.
They're all watching.
I guarantee you they're watching. But,
None of them are on the panel though, so you're safe.
None of them are real.
hey, wait! I'll say this about that: it's disgusting to have that, you know, like a stalking crew following every step you make. But I think to myself, I said, well, you know, these are guys who have never had relations with a woman that didn't involve the exchange of.
Oh boy!
If I had that situation in my life, I'd be, pretty angry.
Right, here's a comparison, Ron.
What?
Briefs or boxers?
All right.
No, I didn't say that. Well,
We went from bourbon to stalkers. Might as well go all the way out.
Breeze.
Anyway.
Michael's a briefs guy. All right.
it sounds terrible, but it's the truth. You know,
Yeah.
I don't really. I don't think it enhances it really. Honestly, no.
Drewski says classic Ronald. By the way, Flacco, real quick, back to the chat. Flacco says that he thinks it's worth trying out every year, not just to see whether or not there's a difference, but just to treat yourself to a cool thing each year. I agree, Flacco. I mean, it's a world-class beer, in my opinion. So it may vary slightly year to year, but I'm going to get it for as long as I can because it's a world-class stout. I love my Imperial Bourbon Barrel-Aged Stout. So as long as I can get it, I'll get it. And Founders, you have nothing to worry about. If it's backlogged on the shelves, you just contact me and let me know where to find it, and I will be on my way. But right now, it's still readily available here. So we've still got to go, man. We've still got Thrash has still got to give his final thoughts and ratings, and then we've got to go back to Shane with his reveal and to determine the winner between those 2 years. So, all right, Ryan, you're up.
Right.
Okay, so I'm kind of like Michael. I'm like I can't give 100 to a beer, especially if it's one that changes every year. You know what I mean? So every year you're looking forward to what comes next, and this is the first year that I'll be doing that. So I'm going to be in line with Jay, and this is going to be a 98. It's really world class, but you know it's going to change every year. So I think the letters KBS it's a fad, but it's world class fad. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what I give it, 98.
All right. Very nice. Short and sweet. Okay. So really quick before we go back to Shane, I'll give my final thoughts and ratings, which if you've watched my channel and you've already seen my review, then spoiler alert, you already know what I'm going to give it. So I'm going with Drunken One, and let's see who else, Michael, and I think Ron as well. I'm going 98 out of 100. The only reason it doesn't get higher is because the CBS is better, and the let's see, what was it? The Goose Island that I had, the 2017 Northwood Stout Edition, those were both better, and I gave both of them 100. The barrel presence is incredible with this. As it warms, it really comes through. I don't recall it having as much bourbon character as it does, but as it warms, it just intensifies. It's beautiful, very smooth and creamy, and just everything that I want in a stout. So for that reason, for me, it gets a 98 out of 100. I really just couldn't be happier with it. And like I said, I will buy. I'm one of those guys that will buy it every year as long as I can find it, even if it is the same exact beer every year, because a world-class beer is something that I want to keep drinking regardless of whether or not it changes, it tastes the same, whatever. It's pretty much damn near perfect the way it is. So I'm going to keep buying it every year. So with that being
John,
said,
before you go to Shane, I have a question for you. Will you continue to buy this in volume if it doesn't sell out in Georgia? So if they have it in September, will you still be buying it?
I will. I might not buy a bunch of it, but I'd like to think that as much as I've had more of this year's version than any other year, obviously because it's so widespread and I can buy it anytime I want. There's no limit to how many bottles I can buy.
Right.
I'll buy some and I'll try to cellar it and then do like Shane's doing, revisit it a few years later and see if it's developed any, or compare it with the current year and see what I think. Do a taste challenge of my own. But absolutely,
I can still get it at my food co-op. They still have it at $5.55 a bottle.
What if y'all can get it for $4.12?
If I could get it for $4.12, Jay, I'd buy a case of it.
I would buy cases
exactly.
on cases of it and build myself a house with it.
Wow. I want to be your neighbor.
The Drunken One can come over and have beers with you.
That's going to be the next season of Game of Thrones is John's House of KBS.
Yeah. There you go. Watch out for that, people. That's it.
Right, John, I'll bring the Natter Days and you can bring the KBS and we'll hang out.
Right. All right. So, with all that being said, we've got to get back to Shane with his reveal. See if he got it right first and foremost, then to determine if one's better than the other, if there's a winner.
I think there's definitely a slight winner that as this is warmed up. Both of these have warmed up. You can see I'm getting close to the, how y'all feeling?
Probably not as good as you. 'Cause you got
I haven't eaten supper yet. Yeah, I thought about doing that with what little bit I have left here. I could try that. I have to go get a different glass, but if y'all want to see that, I can do that. But you know, honestly,
maybe we should wait till we go off air for that. We don't want to.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can. Whatever. I don't have to do that either. But no, you know, as they both warmed up, it's almost like they've become the same beer. It's such a subtle difference, and I think it does lie in that difference in the ABV, because the 15 is 11, like I said, 11.2, and the other one's a 12.4, and I think that might be the defining factor between the two, and just that very subtle difference. I think one is a little more creamy. And as they warmed up, I've gotten more. You ever take an M&M and suck the shell off of it, and just have that little chocolate part of the M&M? It smells like that Hershey's chocolate, sort of like that. I don't know. I know that's kind of, I don't know. That's a little weird, but it smells like that sort of chocolate to me. That Hershey's milk chocolate. Right. One was a little bit more dark at the beginning, but as they warmed up, it's almost like they kind of like balanced out between the two. It's very subtle difference. Unless someone has tried multiple years, they would not be able to tell the difference between the two. And I'm starting to question my choices in life right now. But I'm going to give a little taste of both of them once again, see what we have. See, we got very little left here. I've enjoyed both of them, obviously. I mean, I was sitting there sipping on them.
Right.
This one just smells a little bit less astringent than this one. That's the difference I'm getting, the very subtle difference. Chocolate. Yeah, man, it's just such a subtle difference. Overall, between these two, I think this one right here is my favorite. It's just a little bit more smooth. I like the chocolate in it. This has got a little bit more of the coffee. Maybe that's why there's a little bit more astringency in there, the coffee bitterness. Maybe this is the 16, you know. It's really hard to tell between the two right now.
So is it warm?
Don't feel bad, because I've done liquor taste challenges and I've caught hell. I mean,
I'm scared. I think this one.
You think I've got it, but then you say, "Oh Lord, look at the taste."
Yeah, that's why you got to do the taste challenges.
Yeah, that's what I was saying a while ago when I went through it the first time. I was like, "Oh, this is easy. I can tell the difference." And as it's warmed up, it's like the playing field is leveled out a little bit more. It's getting harder to tell. I think
wonder if the alcohol maybe has something to do with the difficulty in telling them.
I think it definitely does. I think that definitely has a little bit to do with it.
All right, so one of them. All right, you said there's a slight winner. It's the one in your in your left hand.
This one is the slight winner. I would give it a 98.
All right, and which one do you think the one in your left hand is?
This one, I believe, is the 15.
All right,
and
it's a little bit more smooth, a little more chocolatey, a little more yoo-hoo. Yeah. This one has got a little bit more of the coffee bitterness. I think this is the 16. You can't tell the difference between the two. I mean,
so the one that you gave a rating of what,
98 to the 15, I think, and 97 to the 16.
Okay, so both excellent, both very close. So now the moment that everyone's been waiting for,
the moment of truth.
Here we go.
Did you get it right?
No,
it's the wrong way. It's crossed over.
Oh wow,
that's the 15.
Wow, damnation!
Wow, yes.
Right.
So you gave
Ron,
the 15.
Ron just to see what a
I am very familiar with
the Imperial moment is like from the other end.
So Shane,
the
2015 is the one that's 98.
Yeah.
This is the one.
Right. It was reversed.
Yeah. The 16 was now, right?
The 16
So Shane, man,
the
you
16
probably
is
got to get off here.
97.
You probably got a lot to think about right now, a lot to ponder about
Oh, Lord, he's got to go.
life and you know, the direction that we're heading.
Took it right here, right on the chin.
He took it
Yeah.
good though.
Most of the challenges I've ever done, like here at home by myself, there's only like one time that I think I've ever gotten it right. And I don't think it's because I just don't know shit about beer. I know a little bit about beer because I've watched many guys on YouTube. Learned a lot from some certain beer tubers, and
Right.
looking at you, Jay. But wow,
Blind
Jay,
challenges are hard because
yes,
you really don't know until you actually look to see what it is.
yes.
Right.
I told you I was probably gonna make an ass of myself. But
No, you didn't do that, but
It happens to everybody.
No.
I will say though, Shane, that if you've done, you said you've done this a few times, and you've only gotten it right once. Well, you got a 50-50 shot at getting it right, so I'd say that your percentages are pretty low. But
John and Neely.
keep working at it. You'll get it eventually.
You got to try some more.
Right.
Yeah.
Just keep
Always
drinking.
fun.
You'll figure it out.
He's got a finger for you.
it's a lot of fun.
All right, Ron.
Woohoo.
What's that finger? All right. Ron's giving me the finger, everybody. So let's hear what he has to say.
It's not the middle one though. That's a good one.
Pinkies up, guys. Pinkies up.
Yeah, Drew said, "Thank you."
Index finger. Look, all kidding aside, it's a tough thing to do a blind taste test. People talk a lot of trash. I've gotten comments on my channel talking about, you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. I say, okay. I said, where's your channel? Oh, well, I have an important job with the government. I can't go on the air showing my face. I say, oh, but you can make comments 26 hours a day. Okay.
Tell them to come on with a mask on.
Right. But look, John Neely, I'm being honest and real about it. I have offered, this is an open-ended offer. I've offered this on my channel for about almost a year now. I've said, anybody that's got a problem with what I'm doing, you have carte blanche. You can come on my channel and do 30 minutes unexpurgated. I will not intervene for 30 minutes. You can say whatever you want to say. You've got the floor for 30 minutes. If you're an expert, like you claim to be,
I'm with you.
here you are. Do it. Now, guess how many people have taken that offer? Well, you know how many. So that's a great bargain. That's a great bargain. If you want to talk the talk, I say walk the walk. Be a man. Don't be a mouse.
Be a man.
That's right.
Can I do it? Can I do it, Ron? Can I do it without?
Anybody can do it. All you got to do is hit me up, and you got the floor for 30 minutes.
I'd love that. That'd be cool.
30 minutes. Sweet. So I'm gonna set up a date. I'm not gonna talk the talk. I'm not gonna talk the talk. I'm just gonna be there.
Hey, it could become a regular thing. We can all come on for 30-minute shots. It would be fun.
There you go.
So have you guys noticed we've went an hour and almost an hour and a half?
Right.
You gotta get it, don't you?
Guess
John
what?
Neely,
I still have some left.
Right. We are going to, no need to get off of here, Ron. We're going to end the live stream. I don't want to go on too long with the live portion of this because hopefully the replay value will be, somewhat up there. I don't know. Anyway, we a few more comments. We've got a ton of people in the chat. Wet's joined the chat, says hello. Cheers to you, Wet. Thanks for stopping by. Definitely check out the KBS if you haven't already. Flacco agrees with you, Jay. Says it's not an everyday beer, but it is a great beer, and let's
thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think that's. Alex says he agrees with me that it's a good idea to make a house out of beer. Of course, I know what I'm talking about, Alex. All right, so. Thanks everybody in the panel. Drunken One, Jeremy Vincent, Bumpy Road Brewery. Check out his channel.
Well, you didn't go through. You didn't go through and ask each
John was supposed to
individual
go around
if
to ask
we
the people if we would buy every year.
Oh, well,
Right.
okay. So really quickly, because we don't want to go on for 3 hours here.
Drunken
Will
One.
everybody buy it again? My answer is yes. I'll buy it every year. because it's a pretty much a world class beer, and why not, right? Drunken One, will you buy it again?
Yeah, I'd buy it again. I agree with Flacco about treating yourself to something nice, and so yeah, I'd buy it again.
Yeah, it takes
All
about
right.
a year to save up for it, but yeah, I'd buy it again.
Jeremy,
I would definitely buy it again.
I
I'll buy it again.
And then
Bumpy?
I'm a one bottle guy on this.
Yeah.
I cannot do more than one.
but
I'm
every year,
done.
you buy it
Every year, I would get it every year. It just would not go. I would not buy a 4-pack of it
Yeah.
unless I was planning on aging.
Michael?
I definitely would buy it every year, but I'm probably somebody who would buy a single first. But maybe I'd buy more if the price does go lower.
right,
Okay.
right. So what did our overall score end up being, Mr. Michael?
Well, the average is actually over 97, even
That's
with
awesome.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely world class.
Everybody out there watching, if you haven't tried it, definitely go buy it. Robert, what about you? Every year for you?
Yeah, I could buy a 4-pack once a year every year.
Yeah.
All right.
You're not-
Ron, what about you?
Oh, more than likely.
Right. Shane, I think you already know the answer since you've got, it seems like every year since the inception of the year.
No, I got a like
No,
14,
no.
15,
You will not.
14, 15, 16. I'm looking through. I keep finding my 17s, but I got 18 and 19. I will definitely buy it again. I buy it every year, obviously. I
Now is
buy about 2 4-packs usually a year. I used to buy more like 15. I bought several 4-packs, and because it was hard to get, and I was finding it. But now there's so many other beers, man.
Right.
I'll buy at least 1 4-pack every year, if not
Okay.
a couple, so I can put some back. I'm I'm aging the beers right here. Buying.
I think Shane has a bottle from before they actually put it out to the public.
Yeah.
We're just kind of like doing a test series.
He knows he didn't open it up, though. He didn't open it up to do the test.
Right. So, Brian, what about you?
Oh yeah, always. Yeah, I'm hooked on it because it's one of those stouts that it falls within the non-real strong bourbon ones that I like. You know what I mean? I love the bourbon taste, but I don't like the overwhelming bourbon taste.
A lot of
and
the bourbon barrel stouts
yeah.
are very pungent. Yeah.
I
This
love
one's a little bit.
I love the
better
complexity of
balanced,
it.
Right.
Hey, John and Nilly, I got to get off of this because I got to go do some things, and then I have a Dawn Busters.
He's got to turn his light on.
Well, we are going off air. Thanks everybody for joining. Thanks to everybody on the panel.
Thank you for
Thanks to
having me.
everybody in the chat. I think it went very well. I'm very glad that you all were able to get some KBS and join me. I really appreciate it. A very successful night, in my opinion. I hope you all had as much fun as I had. So everybody have a great rest of the week. And until next time, everybody. Cheers.
Pinkies up.
Everybody.
Cheers.
Pinkies up, guys.